Hey guys, it's time for another episode of 30 Years Ago this month. Look, I gotta be real with you guys out there. July 1993, not great. I mean, we still got some stuff to talk about, but you'll see what I mean. It is a pretty blah month in history. For those of you who may be new and have chosen this episode to start this with, this is a series of episodes. I do one every month, and we talk about all of the old head worthy things. Album releases, movies, news, shit that may have happened in the world of music that happened 30 years ago. Right now we're in 2023, so we're talking about 1993, and we are now in the month of July. You know what? You're all here. We're going to make the best of this, all right? I'm going to try to give you the best episode I can possibly give you with what I've been given. First off, we actually have a news story to begin this episode. On July 18th, 1993, the band Rage Against the Machine was set to play a Lollapalooza festival concert thingy in Philadelphia. Did I say Philadelphia already? I don't know. That's where it was. And instead of doing their set, they walked out onto the stage butt-ass naked with just some guitar feedback playing in the background with duct tape over their mouths, and on each of them there were the letters P, M, R, C. And for those of you who don't know, that stands for Parents Music Resource Center, which was a thing that was happening a lot back in the day with Tipper Gore and parents trying to censor music. And somehow in the mix of everything, Rage Against the Machine's song Killing in the Name was banned from radio. I don't know if that was just in Philadelphia. I mean, they played edited versions of the song, so I don't know where it was banned or why it was banned. I'm assuming it was Philadelphia because that's where they decided to be like, hey, look at our dongs for 15 minutes. But hey, Rage Against the Machine had something to protest, and they have never shied away from taking an opportunity to do that. One of the reasons why I love them. And I know what all their dicks look like. All right, moving on to the album charts. What were the number one albums in the month of July 1993? Not the best month in the world. I mean, for the first 2 weeks, the album Janet was still number one, and that's a good album. No problem with that, but, not much of a surprise. But then there was a new number one on July 17th. What was it? What groundbreaking album that was on the pulse of the forward momentum of what was happening in music in 1993? Yes, of course, it was Barbra Streisand, Back to Broadway. I'm assuming everyone that actually bought that album is dead at this point, so all right. And for the last 2 weeks of July, I guess a slight improvement. The number one album in America was Zooropa by U2. Barely an improvement. And that brings us to everybody's favorite portion of the show.
The Hot 10.
The Hot 10. The 10 most popular songs on the Billboard charts for July of 1993. Now, this is usually a fun segment. I do a lot of singing, even if people don't like it. But this month, not a lot changed from last month. Not a lot of excitement here. See what I mean? Let's just go through the songs. At number 10, we have Exposé with I'll Never Get Over You, Getting Over Me. I never would have guessed that song came out anywhere in the 90s. I don't even remember. Exposé put out music in the 90s? Okay. At number 9, we have Duran Duran with Who Do You Need? Who Do You Love? When You Come Undone. That ended pretty good, but that middle part was woo. At number 8, we have Dr. Dre with Dre Day, which doesn't actually have a chorus, but there is that one part where Snoop Dogg goes, bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, Snoop Dogg's in the motherfucking house. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, old heads in the motherfucking house. Number 7, we have UB40 with I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Something like that. At number 6, a holdover from last month, the mystery of the Robin S. song, Show Me Love, which isn't the one I thought it was. It's the... You got to show me love. Number 5, Rod Stewart, have I told you lately that I'm bored? Number 4, we have Tag Team back again with Whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is, everybody! Good job, guys. Except for you. Why the fuck were you just sitting there looking at me? And number 3, we got my boys from H-Town with Somebody Rockin' Knockin' the Boots. Number 2, my girls from SWV with Can't Explain Why Your Lovin' Makes Me Weak. And at number 1, Miss Jackson, If You're Nasty, with That's the Way Love Goes.
That's the way love goes.
All right, I'm feeling better about this month. I'm having a good time. You guys having a good time out there? Okay, cool. Let's move on to the movies that were number 1 in the box office July 1993. For the first 3 weeks of July 1993, the number 1 movie in America was The Firm, starring Tom Cruise. I saw this movie in the theater. I never saw it again. I don't remember it. And for the last week in July 1993, the number 1 movie in America was Poetic Justice, with Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur. I saw the movie when it came out. I haven't seen it since. I don't really remember it. The movie that I do remember very well, and I was very excited to see, that came out on July 30th of 1993, was the Mike Myers comedy So I Married an Axe Murderer. No, this movie was not even close to being number 1. I don't know why it didn't do well. It's funny as hell. It still holds up today as very funny. And Mike Myers is a fucking national treasure, even though he's from Canada, but it doesn't matter. I treasure him here as well.
Oh, that's a crime.
You're very funny, but that's terrible story. I don't know.
She had to... Hi, can we get our check, please? Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Album releases! All right, ladies. Because, that's my audience. All right, everybody, so it's time for the album releases of July of 1993, and we have a whopping 3 albums to talk about. On July 20th, the debut album from the band Candlebox was released. This is not an original. This is one of those ones that has this album on this one. It's a dual thing. I'll talk about that some other video. But yeah, this was the debut album from Candlebox, and it's a really good album. I think it's held up very well, and I very much enjoy it now, even more so than I did back in the day. And back in the day when it came out, I remember there was a lot of this, like, these guys are just trying to fit in with these bands from Seattle. And they're all like, hey, we're from Seattle. And really, Candlebox, especially at the time, had more in common with Pearl Jam than any other of the grunge bands. And for what it is, I think it's a damn good album. It has a lot of fucking killer songs on it. And I think Candlebox is a band that deserves a lot more respect. They deserved more back then, and they deserve more today. Still around and kicking it. Also released on July 20th is the second Cypress Hill album, Black Sunday, which spawned their biggest hit ever, Insane in the Membrane. Insane in the Brain! And it's a good album. Classic 90s hip-hop album. Do you like Cypress Hill? Yep, you'll like this one too. And finally, on July 27th, the second album from Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, was released. And it's a fucking 90s classic alternative rock album. Tons of great songs on it. Like, it's arguably their best. Between that and Melancholy, I don't know. You guys tell me. But Siamese Dream... it's a pretty damn good album. This was way before everybody knew that Billy Corgan was nuts. And so yeah, that's all the albums I have to talk about for July of 1993. But we don't need to leave just yet. We have one more thing to talk about. So I think it started in 1992 actually, but there was a video subscription service called Rock Video Monthly. And I think it was found in magazines. You'd fill it out. You'd send them. I think it was $3 a month, and every single month they would send you a video cassette with music videos of whatever genre you preferred. I think at first they had it split up into like rock and metal and rap and R&B and eventually country, and you would get a VHS in the mail with a bunch of music videos on it. And there was one that was issued for July of 1993 that I actually have. And it's this one right here. If you want to look at the cover there real quick, gives you an idea of what is on this Rock Video Monthly. But let's read through it real quick, because there are some fucking bangers on here. Anthrax with Only. Anacrusis with Sound the Alarm. Dream Theater with Another Day. Green Jelly with Obey the Cow God. Infectious Grooves, These Freaks Are Here to Party. Living Color, Ostlander, holy shit. Mind Bomb, Do You Need Some? Not really. My Little Funhouse, Wishing Well, that's a lesser known, lesser appreciated band. Overkill with Spiritual Void. And last but not least, it's interesting because it says, Return to Serenity from Return to Apocalyptic City. And it's even got like that. That's the live album. But the video that's on here is Return to Serenity from The Ritual. But I guess that was the thing that they were promoting at the time. And so that's what they put on the video thing. I don't fucking know. Here, let's take a look at this. There you go. Not a lot to look at. It's a VHS. It belongs in a museum. And there's literally nothing else on here. Just these 10 music videos, and then that's it. But these days, I just like popping in a VHS and watching 10 music videos. I've got several more of these that we'll talk about in later months for 1993. But I just think that's interesting, a testament to how big music videos were. We talked about last time that there's an entire making of music video of a Guns N' Roses music video VHS. What? And here there's a subscription where you get VHSs with music videos on them. That's how big of a deal, or as big of a deal as they were trying to make music videos, but they were a big deal to me. As a 15-year-old music sponge, I loved all that shit. Guess I still love it today, which is why I'm here talking to you guys 30 years later. And that wraps up this edition of 30 Years Ago this month. Thank you all very much for being here. Didn't turn out to be as boring as I thought. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize, everybody. You've all made this so much better. So thank you, and I will see you all again next month.